What's going on, everyone? So, Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans, but more so Zion Williamson individually, they're in a tough spot, right? Reports came out that Zion Williamson is nowhere close to returning, that he's not returning at any point. And then, top of that, his agency, CAA, apparently has departed and left him as well. It's just like, what do you do at this point, right? If you're the Pelicans, you're not going to get value for him to trade him. You're kind of stuck with him. You're hoping things figure out. And it's even more disappointing this offseason because he had that, that body transformation and really it was okay, what can this look like? Right? What does Zion look like now with this? I think they said that he lost 30 pounds or something like that. It was just okay, he's finally starting to take some stuff serious, right? He's finally starting to learn and starting to get himself right. And he's still young enough to where he can start taking those strides. There are moments where Zion Williamson looks every bit like the superstar top player in the league that we thought he would be at some point. And then there's times where he just looks like he doesn't care. And this is a great example of when you don't take it serious, and then finally it's okay, well, we'll try this time. It's too late. And, Zion Williamson, it's just the Pelicans I feel for, because it's you went and got DeJounte Murray, he gets hurt, right? Their entire, 4 out of their starting 5 are decimated. You have all this issue with Brandon Ingram and everything. It's man, if he buys in and he looks good, maybe this looks like something. Brandon Ingram is having a good season. And it's what does this team look like with DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, or, Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson? Obviously, they don't lack a center. They could really use a center. But it's just man, you get any serviceable center at that point. And then you still have, Troy Murphy and, Jose Alvarado and all these guys. And it's man, this is a roster that looks like if Zion can be that star, a team that could maybe be in that conversation for a championship contender, right? They have a guy in Zion Williamson that we've seen when he is the best version of himself. The guy is unstoppable. Because anybody his size doesn't have the explosiveness, athleticism, and quickness to keep up with him. Everybody that is, smaller than him, you're not stopping. He's too big, too strong, too physical. Right? And it's just this is a guy that if he can just be that premier guy and stay healthy, you add in a Brandon Ingram, you add in a DeJounte Murray. You have, several 3-and-D wings that are premier defensive players, just very good players. You have a guy in a CJ McCollum that could be your third, your sixth man, right? Or you could look to flip him or do whatever, right? You have assets, you have everything you need to be one of the top teams in the NBA. But you can't rely on your superstar. Your other guy, I wouldn't classify Brandon Ingram as a superstar, right? I think Brandon Ingram personally is, your third best player, right? Personally, I think he is if he's your third option, you're probably a very good basketball team. Kind of feel that way about DeJounte Murray, if DeJounte Murray is your third guy. But we've seen, right? Get 2 guys that on any given night can be the third guy or be the second guy, right? And you get that one superstar, guess what? You can win a championship. We saw it with Steph, and Andrew Wiggins during that run was his second best player. And he was great. Giannis with the Milwaukee Bucks, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton. Neither of those guys are a second option, and a second star. But you get multiple third guys and then have enough role player talent. And if your superstar is good enough and transcendent enough, you can be the difference. Nikola Jokic, another, Jamal Murray's probably not your second best player. That was a big question for so long. But Jokic is so great. And so you add in a Jamal Murray, you add in a KCP, you add in an Aaron Gordon, right? You get the right piece, Michael Porter Jr., right? You add the right pieces around. All of a sudden, you're good enough to win a championship. That's how I look at Zion with the Pelicans. Obviously, we still need to see, can he be that elevated guy? But if he could be a top 5 player, which he has the talent, we've seen moments where he is that guy. last season, and it's really unfortunate he got hurt, but even my Lakers had zero answer for Zion. I mean, he just was getting whatever he wanted whenever he wanted in that play-in game, right? And it was like, finally, right? This is Zion. The Laker fan in me was like, I need him to stop. But the basketball fan in me, the guy that is a big Duke guy that watched Zion and was like, man, I was like, this is the guy we've been waiting for. This is the Zion Williamson that it's like, fine, here he is. Get out of my way. Give me the basketball. No one else, no other stars, nothing. Everyone's, don't worry, I got this. Give me the ball. And possession after possession after possession after possession, just dominance. And then he got hurt. And I was like, this guy can't stay healthy. This guy is walking around with too much weight, right? Like, this guy has, like, the body of Shaq, but his height is that of a forward, right? Like, it's just, and then it's like, okay, well, now I'll take it serious. And it's just, people are sick. It's too late. It's like, he can't stay healthy. Like, the Pelicans can't rely on him. He's nowhere near returning. I mean, think of how much time he's missed. We've seen a lot of just like, what if stories. A lot of what if stories. And Zion is becoming more and more of a what if story. Now, what if Zion had that, serious mentality? What if Zion took care of his body? What if Zion did the things necessary to be great? Like, what does he look like? I mean, he was the most hyped guy since, like, LeBron James, literally, like, going back to high school. The guy was already a super duper star. He was already one of the biggest names on the planet basketball-wise in high school because he was just this monster, right? And then went to college, showed you that monster, came in the NBA, and out the gate, right, when he finally did start playing, like, out the gate, he was like, whoa, hang on, time out. This guy might be exactly what people thought he would be. And then he just got hurt and just stayed hurt and then missed the season. And then it's just like, at what point do we just come to the conclusion that this is who Zion is? He's never going to be that guy. He's never going to be your guy. He's not going to be the guy you can count on and rely on. But the problem is the Pelicans, they're stuck. Because no one's giving up. No one's selling the farm for Zion Williamson who can't stay healthy longer than a week. Right? Like, no one's selling the farm on a what if. What if Zion stays healthy and gets to that peak? Like, I'm not saying a team wouldn't take a chance on him. I do think that would happen. Right? Like, if you could get Zion for, a first, right? Teams would probably, like, if the Pelicans were like, hey, we just want to move off of him, right? We just want to be done. Call it quits, and just, if he figures it out, he figures it out, right? Like, if that happened in a team, yeah, you'd have several teams that would take a chance on him, take a flyer on him, especially some of these, like, like a Detroit or something like that. They've been wanting to be good for a while. It's like, oh man, get a Zion, right? What can you do? Like, I could see some teams, but I don't see any like top contender. Like, which top contender is taking a chance on Zion? Right, like it'd probably be one of like the middle of the pack teams or a team that just wants the name, right? Oh man, we got Zion on our roster, let's go, right? Like, I could see something like that, but they're not selling. You're not going to get the return necessary or what would make sense to be worth it for Zion. It's just both sides are kind of in a rock and a hard place, and it's really unfortunate because he really does have the potential. Right? We've seen it. We've seen how good Zion can be. We've seen what happens when Zion just buckles down and is like, I'm gonna be unstoppable tonight. And he's been that at times. That's the problem. At times. Not regularly. And it's so frustrating to see because he has all the potential to be top 3 to 5 guy in the league. Maybe even the best player in the league. Because he's so big and explosive and strong and physical. I mean, it's insane what he could potentially be. And we've seen his ability to make plays and rebound and spread the floor and do all. Like, the guy can do a little bit of everything we've seen. And it's just like, if he really just took it serious, right, like, it'd just be completely different conversation. It's unfortunate. Now his agency doesn't even want to be attached to him anymore. It's just, what a downfall, right? From, a handful of years ago, this was a guy that was on top of the world. This is a guy that was looked at as like, hey, this guy might be the best player in the league in 3 years. And now it's like, do the Pelicans just cut him? Right? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy turnaround. Right? Like, what do the Pelicans do? Right? Like, it's bizarre to me. It really is. It's crazy. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? What is your opinion on the New Orleans Pelicans? What do you think they should do with Zion Williamson? What are your thoughts on Zion Williamson? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I would love to hear them. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.